All right, good stuff. Thank you for getting through all that. Let's check things out here. We've got the stream going, so we'll do our usual, get through the dailies on the indices and see what we got. We do have a possible smash day that would be a setup to the downside. Again, Larry Williams smash day is a failed breakout type setup. So we will have an alert set on yesterday's low, which we are still going to open above. SPY, that would be a break below 448.90 or 548.90, excuse me. It doesn't mean automatically get in short. You can see there were possible smash day setups. August 9th didn't hit. August 13th didn't hit. August 14th didn't hit. All these days were closing above prior day's highs. So we'll see what we get today. But the smash day setup would be if we broke below 548.90 on SPY. It's a possible smash day on all the indices. Q, it would be a break below 468.40 essentially, and on IWM it would be a break below 209.91. Current spot 211.29. So again, failed breakout kind of idea. Doesn't mean get in all short automatically. We just keep an eye on yesterday's low. Yeah, repeater smash days upside, Jackal for sure. All right, let's jump into the futures charts with the markup on them here. Let's see what we got. So we've got here a couple different things, kind of a busier chart. We've got this uptrend line I'm going to be watching here on the 4-hour. Repeat taps on that one. We've got bears break-even stops above on the NASDAQ, not too far off, 19,717. I would imagine they would maybe want to take out some bears first before a big sell-off, hit their buy stops. We'll see. We left a 4-hour ICT box yesterday. That fills to the downside down at 19,200 area. And then another 100 points down below that would be this kind of overnight lows from last night, or the other night, not last night, those were up there, from after the close, August 14th, and then into the open on the 15th. So there's this kind of double bottom on the 4-hour down at 19,100. So bulls would have stops sitting down there. That could be a possible target if we were to break this trend line and push to the downside. So we'll see what we get. I would think maybe they would want to come up and stop out some bears first. Yellow box above that would be a daily ICT gap. We also have a yellow box down here, daily ICT gap, and this orange box would be a weekly that we would be wanting to see the weekly candle close above this box. So we'll see what we get there. That would be for bull, getting that orange candle close above that orange box. ES very similar. We've got our uptrend line. We've got a 4-hour ICT box below. That one would fill if we push to the downside, 54.93. Bears break-even stops to take everyone out would be up here at 5,600. That'd be a good round number to see what we get up there. Good test if we can get a bounce. And bull break-even stops would be down at 54.64. So we'll see what we get there. And then on the Russell, Russell's got a bear flag setup going here, but also has bear break-even stops above 2156.5. I triple checked all these highs are none of these candle highs were above this one, 51. I'm looking up here in this area. 2156.5. That one's 56.4. 56.5 again, equal highs. So whoever sold the top of this candle right here on the 4-hour, they have not been stopped out at the break-even stop. So that's a possible target. Again, we're always looking for them to cause max pain, take you out of the move, make you chase it, prevent people from being able to sit in a position. So I would imagine if we're going to get a good short, I would think they would maybe want to go take that out, but we'll just have to see what we get. We did leave a 4-hour ICT box below, and then if we wanted to stop out bull, that would be down, if we broke this bear flag trend line, we've been holding it, kind of dancing around it and then bouncing, and we almost broke it on these lows and then we bounced it. So, and a bear flag is just a bull channel until it breaks. So we'll keep that in mind, see what we get. Other things coming into the day, wanted to do just a quick look at crude because it's giving some good real-time examples of how these ICT boxes will work. You know, I'm always talking about we'll need to look for a candle to close above or below a box on that time frame. This was a good example of that. Also, if you're following along on the crude continuous contract, it did roll just last night. So you may want to double check your lines on your crude chart. But so here's some of our examples. I'm always talking about. Let's look for whether it's on the it doesn't matter the time frame. We're just looking for the candle close above or below a gap, and you match the time frame with the way the gap was created. So here, this was a daily ICT box. This candle's low to this candle's wick high to this candle's wick low. And so when we traded back through it, we got the candle to close below the gap, meaning we would look for this gap to work as resistance. We had a little pop above it and then sold off. We sold right off from the top of it. So that was a good example. Now as we trade back into this gap, this was this candle's wick low to this candle's wick high, left an ICT box. Then we got a candle closing above it. So we would want to see if this box works as works as support. This one labeled in green here on crude, with room down to 73.29. So we'll see what we get. Crude had some weakness and then came down and kind of bounced off this area here. So we'll see what we get there. What else? We had some dark pools last night. Noted there was an interesting one on Caterpillar. Big line. Caterpillar was 345.64, coming in 33% of average 30-day volume. There's been repeater dark pools on PanW. Last night's was 19% of average 30-day volume, came in at 343.55. We'll see what we get there. Big dark pools coming in on Grab. 77% last night at 314. We had that AMAT earnings. There was a dark pool last night, 16% to 1183. I think Netflix could be a good watch. I mentioned really unusual, larger size dark pool on Netflix came in on the 14th right here at 659.82. That ended up working yesterday as support. And then we've got one above that it couldn't hold, 669.02. So I think Netflix could be on watch again if we're going to play, battle of the dark pools in this area. You can see the dark pool above was support back here. So this could end up becoming a support becomes resistance type line, 669.02. All these orange lines, actually, we'll just get rid of this line here. And then everything on this Netflix chart is dark pool. So kind of good to track on Netflix because it's one that getting something over, pretty much anything over 5% is worth marking on your chart because it just doesn't get a lot of action. Let's see what else we got going on. MLCO has been getting repeater dark pools. There was a big one last night, 157% at $5 flat. That's MLCO. Walmart off their earnings. 14% at 73.18. Let's see what else. Take a look at this Caterpillar. So this is where 345.64. That's where it came in last night. Probably in a smaller time frame, you can make a case for a falling wedge bull flag there. So we'll see what we get on Caterpillar. Get these charts ready for the open. Got some kind of little rising wedge bear flag look to it here. ES NASDAQ as we come into the day. Not going to rush into anything. Google with a bit of weakness off all this antitrust headline. Noted this was a rising wedge bear flag. And it looks like they're retesting. This is a key level above 162.15. Market doesn't seem to like that antitrust lawsuit stuff going on for Google. Yeah, gold and crude making good moves. The GLD is hitting a new all-time high here pre-market. Gold futures flagging here on the 5-minute. Oh, big dark pool pre-market on Nvidia. Thanks, GB Trader. It's, let's see. Yeah, so that's what a little over 50% of, or 0.5%, excuse me, of average 30-day volume on Nvidia, which can be definitely significant. All right, we got 20 seconds here. Yeah, the bios were moving. I guess Biden announcing drug prices for Medicare yesterday was a news driver there for some of the. We saw some moves on Moderna and Pfizer, and we are open. Put sweep Intel for December 2025 $1 million, the 25s. A little bid side put SPY, but it's out to September. Bid side call Q out to September. Put SPY 555s for August 29th, back to back, 700,000, just about. A little calls on Nvidia for today. SPX for the 21st, 5550, call block 350,000.
See us making a push with volume for the
Nice dark pool Roblox here. 40, 50, 4.5% average 30-day volume. Bid side puts SPY. There's one for the 23rd, 551s. Nice candle ES trying to push. Russell trying to push. NASDAQ lagging just a bit, but it looks like it's wicking to the upside. Rapid fire bullish Nvidia today's 122.50 is paying 82 cents. Bid side put Q for August 30th, 400, the 475s, 400,000. JMIA next week's 5 calls, 144K yellow sweep. That was a good line. Yes, leading. Nice. Microsoft's been getting good dark pool. There's a 6% 42040. Bid side call BABA yellow, the September 13th 8700K. Bid side call Q for today, 180K. Call UVXY for the 23rd, only 23K, but pretty rare. Unusual, very large dark pool. This is going to be important. This is Q on QQQ. Looks like, is this real time? Yeah. All right. We're gonna have to focus on this one. 472.50 on Q. This is gonna be our line for the day. That is very notable. So let's keep an eye on that. 7%. That's big. Yeah, we don't see something like that almost ever. SPX above the ask, 55.35 call for today, 113K. Again, the line is 472.50 on Q. Bid side call sweep SPY for January, $1 million. SIMO yellow call sweeper, September 20th, 67.50s, 43K. ASTS still going. SOXL calls coming in out to September, going to overlap with NVIDIA earnings. Big call NVIDIA, $1 million, just about. The September 6 116s. Little put on Netflix for next week, the 665, 69K. Still got a rising wedge bear flag look to it here. NASDAQ specifically, Russell and ES look better. Q474 call for today, 126,000 above the ask. Only a couple minutes in. Give Gamma some time. Here's an ASTS 40 call, yellow sweeper. That's for January, 664,000. Nice line. Bid side put ASTS for today. Tacked on ASTS. SIGA over 11. Let's go. Call into play. September 20th, 34s. 111,000. That's rare. Nice little sweep. Here's our Q dark pool check. Give it a second there. 472.50.
I'm gonna go out of the money on these SIGA calls. The 14 calls at 5 cents.
Nice. Yellow put STX, the 100s for September 20th, 123K. Doesn't get a lot of flow.
Crap, they only filled me for one contract. I was trying to get 20. And now it's like at 12 cents. Never mind.
Russell Strong. Again, looking for what they do with it. 9 points up on the Russell. That's where all the stops are sitting. SMCI 640 for today. Little Tesla calls. Tesla calls repeating now. Not a lot of money, but they're buying Tesla. ASTS warrant spike. Q's over the dark pool. I need just a minute. I'll be right back. All right. SPX calls. Good bounce off the dark pool Q for now. Russell now only 6 to go to get our upside target.
The JMIA is looking strong.
Yeah, that was a good call for next week. Hit the fives. Gold push. Mentioned the falling wedge bull flag. It's moving. AMAT block out to September 800,000 though. Yellow put Ulta October 370s. 340K Ulta put. ASTS still going crazy. Russell very strong, gunning for our upside target quickly here. And this is gold futures gunning for a new all-time high. Nice oat milk, man. Grabbing some ASTS. Let's go. TBLA price spike alert. All right, here's Q. We may get one more check of this dark pool. I'm just waiting here. Again, we've been talking about the importance of a NASDAQ entry. So I want to make 1,000%, as possible, as sure as possible that we know what this dark pool's trying to do. There's SIGA 15s for September 20th, little sweep 24K. We saw good flow into RKLB. Now they went out to 2026 on some 12 calls. Just a block, but notable. We saw some good flow over there yesterday. Thank you, Sarah. Good analysis. So Buffett bought above current price on Ulta because he bought it in Q2. Interesting. Netflix popped the dark pool. Kind of did this a little bit yesterday where it tried to get over the same line and then it double topped and failed. Let's see if it retests it. It's a 669.02. There's a put on TKO yellow sweep 230,000. Doesn't get a lot of flow. Bid side SPX 5535 200,000. SPX the magnet is currently sitting 5575. Q we have slipped the dark pool for now. Bid side put SPX 5525 200,000, so that just canceled out our bid side call. Gold's futures continuous contract new all-time high. SPX ask side 55.45, 150K. More RKLB. Now they got 10 calls. Little spec sweeper for next Friday. 12K. 63-cent contracts. Puts on the DIA. September 6th, 410s. 600K. ASTS big 50 call for January. Over almost 600K. Yes. Well done, Mike Miz. That was great flow. Good work. Is this attack on? ASTS 50s for January. 3 in a row. Over $1 million. 1.3 million. And another, yeah, they tacked on it. Apple with a decent real-time dark pool here. 2.5%. 224.12. SPX 55.35 ask side almost 300K. Sarah, the big dark pool on Q is 472.50. Still waiting for a clear signal off that line. We got 13 minutes till University of Michigan consumer sentiment. It's going to be a key. I mean, it's less of a high impact than some of the other data points, but it's kind of wrapped the week together because we've had some, everything's been about the consumer this week. Target earnings, retail sales, CPI, PPI. Sector check. Energy is the biggest red at the moment, down 0.6%, followed by tech down 0.4%. Small green financials. RKLB 6s for September 20th, 200K sweep. Calls Tesla and NVIDIA. Call block SPX 5500, 1.3 million. That's for October 18th. Staying 30 points in the money. Getting a little bit more gamma. We've got now a magnet 5575 and a magnet 5535. So we're kind of already at the 5535. Q back over the dark pool. Calls on NVIDIA for the 6th. That will cover ER. Hammer candle closed on its high small wick. Cop X has been getting a lot of dark pool lately.
Order filled.
Looks like this is going to be a long with Q getting back over the dark pool and moving. We've got call flow. We do still need the data to come in friendly, but kind of liking the setup. I mean, we had the bear flag to open, but bear didn't really get anything out of it, and then they hit the big dark pool on Q. Calls coming in on Megacap. There's a Meta for next week, only 125,000. The 53250s. ASTS 35 block for next week, 170K. Russell still pointed up for its upside target, 2156.5. Bid side 5540 SPX for today, but that one ask bid in 10 minutes, so maybe still buying. Tesla calls.
Order filled.
Eight minutes till data. Pfizer, nice August 30th, 29 call, 181,000. There's Russell through its upside target. Now we watch. Do we get a blast through or a pause? Baba put sweep yellow November 8250s 162,000. Baba had the good call flow yesterday, but it couldn't get anything going. Russell wicking down off taking that line. Bid side put ON, the semiconductor. Next week 74 is 100K yellow sweep. Call on the Russell, the W for next Friday, the 2150s. That's rare, over 500,000. That's a pretty good sign. Russell did wick down after taking that level. Five minutes till data. Nvidia little put, no money on that. Bidside put Sphere for next Friday with the price target upgrade. Tesla calls.
Alright, I grabbed some Sphere SPHR 50 calls at 30 cents. The spreads are crazy on this, so just be careful what you're paying for. Don't mark it in.
Order filled.
Q Dark Pool retest as support. Tesla Alpha Gold 1.5 million into the 320s for December. Bid side call SPY for today, the 553s. More Q dark pool. This one hitting above 0.5%, 472.60 above the last line that came in. Op Qs is operating above both.
Alright, my last trade for this morning, I grabbed the LUNR Lunar 4.5 calls at 15 cents. Sorry, 11 cents.
Good stuff. Little taps on Nvidia. That's a Amazon block out to 2026, 5.3 million. Q call for the 23rd. Q continues to use these dark pools as support. Now we have only 2 minutes till data. And a little slip below the dark pool's Q. But it appears to be a little bit bouncy there. I still am kind of leaning upside, but it's tricky right now. We got to see what they think about this data in 1 minute.
Alright, Michigan consumer sentiment numbers in less than a minute.
Yep. Russell's strong, back over the key level from this morning. Q puts for the 23rd, 473s, big ones. It could be hedging if they were the dark pool buyer, but we'll see. Bid side call SPX for September 4th. Q over the dark pool. Bid side call SPY.
Stop filled.
That's what's pushing.
Russell right up against the top of that bear flag line, maybe trying to invalidate. Tesla just got slammed with calls for next week. Still thinking long. Q above all that real-time dark pool. Let's take a look at this data. And 5-year inflation came in 3%. Forecast was 2.9. 1 year 2.9 flat. Russell's leading. ES pop. Nasdaq is a big laggard right now. ES moving to the
Order
upside.
filled.
Like Nasdaq long to play catch up here, trying to grab the upper 5-minute Bollinger Band and for a push. There it goes. Also like Q operating above these big dark pools.
Stop filled.
Netflix potentially flagging. Here's a check of the Caterpillar dark pool, 345.64. Gold stalled out once it made that new all-time high. Call block Boeing for the 30th, 150K. There's a bid side put on the VXX. VXX operating below a big dark pool here for 47.40. I've got an alert set. We'll get that popping in the room if it breaks it. Yeah, Pat, that Tesla Alpha Gold was interesting. Interesting Russell right up against the top of that bear flag. Bid side call UVXY next Friday's 2650s.
Order submitted. Order filled.
Calls on Nvidia. Small calls on Nvidia.
There's a push on Sphere, HOD. Let's go.
Sphere, September 20th, 5250s. Sphere over 50. Up close candle with a wick on top. Still leaning for upside from here. SMCI block. That's for next Friday. Repeater bullish PLTR. Today's 32s paying 23 cents. Popping that prior wick high. NASDAQ. Still looking long. Very hesitant though. Calls on Nvidia, little spec sweeps. Yeah, that BABA flow from yesterday was definitely interesting. There you go, NASDAQ. Let's go. Dark pool Q was the key. And now it's pushing. There goes NASDAQ. Let's go.
Stop filled.
Very hesitant though with these wicks on top. Not really crazy about that. There's Q for today, just a block though. Q and SPY calls for today. SPY back-to-back 553 calls. Repeater bullish NVIDIA for today. You're right.
Order submitted.
Right, Sarah?
Order filled.
Super helpful. Give it a couple candles to bounce around a dark pool. That's exactly how we want to do it. ASTS 33s sweeper for next Friday, 118K. Dust back to back 7 calls. That's kind of rare. That's the bear gold miner, so that's a bearish bet on gold off a new all-time high. ASTS put block for today, 40s. Not a great looking wick here, NASDAQ, but still.
Stop filled.
Yeah, we don't like that guy much, Mike Miz. That guy's got 120,000 into 40 puts on ASTS. He probably doesn't have many friends, would have to imagine. NVIDIA, September 6th, 122s, 1.4 million. Big bull bet. NVIDIA earnings coming up. Russell may be looking to flip short here. That was a big rejection off the top of the bear flag. Here's your Russell chart. We looked at this horizontal line up there pre-market, noted that's where bears would have their stops. Wouldn't picture them confirming a big old bear flag, leaving bears with break-even stops there. And now we're getting a pause. So you could potentially be looking to short the Russell there. Home Depot with an unusual dark pool. That came in 2.9%, 362.50. That's funny. They're going to do UFC at the Sphere. Russell 5-minute candle close on its low. No buying.
Order filled.
NVIDIA calls for today, 3 in a row. UNH unusual dark pool 2%, 578 flat. Tesla calls again. They like Tesla for next week and today. NVIDIA 125 call for next Friday. SPY 553 for today. Sweep. BABA 86s for next Friday back to back. ASTS 35 for today, just a little block. Netflix still consolidating. Cat dark pool rejection. Back-to-back SMH 250 calls for September 20th. bullish bets on Nvidia earnings. The dollar is making a pretty strong move here. And global macro uncertainty is pretty bullish for the US dollar. Gamma check, we've got magnets at 55.75 and 55.35 is below. So if we start pushing, we can be thinking we've got a room for a potential decent up move there. GitLab unusual dark pool coming in at 45 flat. Man, those UFC guys are insane. I like watching that stuff. I'm not usually that big into sports, but that stuff is crazy. Repeater bullish Meta, next week's 540s. Repeater bullish Apple, today's 225s, paying 62 cents. Another dark pool Q. Nvidia.
FSLY, M&A rumor, big activist in FSLY.
Huh. 3 in a row Q real-time dark pools coming in 474.59. That's weird. Did we even trade up to that? Looks like this run didn't even hit that yet. Maybe they're delayed from when it was price was there earlier. It's like yesterday's, just below yesterday's high. That's weird. Bid side put Nvidia 400K. So we've got Nvidia earnings on the 28th, and it appears they're getting bowled up for that. Crude had a bull flag look to it here. Looks a little bit like it might try to fail the flag, though. ASTS 30 put for today, 20K. So we've gone from just say AI to just say activist. Gotta keep.
Right?
Best Buy 30 puts for August 30th, back-to-back, big money on the 86s. RKLB block 12s for next Friday. There goes another new high and an empty wick attempt on the NASDAQ. Continuing to pop these tops of these candles. There you go. Okay, nice work there. There's an Nvidia December 156 call, almost 600K. If you got in anything long on the reminders on the Q dark pools and these candles, you should be green. Trail your stops, take some off if you've got a couple. Let's go. Oh, Sarah getting those insider infos on the UFC. Repeater bullish Nvidia, August 30th, 150, paying $1. Bid side put SPX 200K on the bid for SPX 5525 puts. Again, we start pushing, we have a possible upside target 35 points up on SPX.
Big pop on SMCI, HOD.
Somebody taking off some calls on that pop. SMCI 645's on the bid. kind of like a weird head and shoulders, a little bit of a look to it there on the gold. Russell, relative weakness here. Don't worry, Sarah. We will keep your secret safe. Just keep stalking Dana White or whatever you're doing over there. Put on Airbnb, 500,000 sweeper for January. Little FTNT put for next Friday. Doesn't get a lot of flow. There you go, NASDAQ. Let's go. So that's the good example of, kind of using everything that we have available to us. We got OMG with the data instantly on the consumer sentiment. We got the dark pool, and then just using those candles, and that little pullback just held the 20 essentially. SPY Phantom coming in below. Nice, thanks, Jackal. Good kind of conversion for the SPY traders. Yeah, nice, Sarah. I like it. Repeater bullish Nvidia today's 124 calls paying $1.37. Big $1 million bid side call ASTS. That's for November 15th, the 30s. RKLB 7s for next week, 30K. Again, trailer your stops, scale out if you've got a couple. SPY calls for today, 553s. There's another bid side call on SMCI, just a block. More dark pool Q is right up against this line. This is the one that they're hitting. Looks a little bit delayed, 474.59. So let's see what they do with it. Nice 5-minute candle close on its high, no sell wick. Bulls looking to add with limit orders on the break above that candle. Tesla, what are they doing with Tesla 220 puts for today? Let's take a look at these. Very messy. Maybe writing. They started on the bid, but kind of funky looking.
Order filled. Stop filled.
Bid side call SPX. 122K. Put SPY for today. All right, let's be a little bit cautious here. Bearish Tesla 217.50 puts for today. 1.6.
Order filled.
I think Russell would be the most obvious short if we're going to need to start shorting things. There's a bid side put SPX 55.45, 250K. Russell being the obvious short due to the fact that it rejected right at the upper trend line of the bear flag and took out bear's break-even stops. Let's throw Russell on the stream for you guys. Inside call SPY 555s for today, 150K. Little put Sphere. Not a UFC fan. Push price away line.
Stop
This is a
filled.
gamma update. But the push price away line is all the way up at 55.80. See what Russell does with the EMA check here. Tesla for November 260 call sweeper 300K. ASTS 32 call for today block 29,000. Crude did fail that bull flag downside with volume. Q's up against yesterday's high and pausing. Netflix looks like it wants to flag and fire to the upside. VIXI call doesn't get a lot of flow. Back to back 11s and 12s for next Friday. Repeater bullish Nvidia for next Friday. 135 is paying 64 cents. Ulta buying, says Sarah. Dollar big reversal to the upside, creating some weakness in commodities. Russell 5-minute candle close on its low, no buying wick. If you want to be a bear, I'd be shorting the Russell. XLI dark pool 9%, 126.68. Rapid fire bullish Tesla in November 260s paying 12.3. You could also, if you felt like being a bear, you could be shorting crude. Nice, thanks, Jackal.